On July 14, 1789, the storming of the Bastille marked the symbolic collapse of tyranny in France. This fortress prison, representing royal oppression, was attacked by revolutionaries seeking weapons and gunpowder. Its fall ignited revolutionary fervor across the nation, uniting commoners against the monarchy. The event became a powerful symbol of resistance, celebrated annually as Bastille Day. The destruction of the Bastille demonstrated the people's power to challenge authority, setting the stage for radical political change. In August 1789, the National Assembly adopted the Declaration of the Rights of Man and Citizen, codifying Enlightenment ideals into law. Drafted by Lafayette and inspired by philosophers like Rousseau, it proclaimed liberty, equality, and fraternity as universal rights. The document abolished feudal privileges and established legal equality, though it excluded women and enslaved people. Its principles influenced constitutions worldwide, becoming a cornerstone of modern democracy. However, its implementation faced resistance from nobles and monarchists, highlighting the struggle between old and new orders. From 1793 to 1794, the radical phase of the Revolution, known as the Reign of Terror, saw extreme violence under Maximilien Robespierre and the Committee of Public Safety. Over 16,000 were executed by guillotine, including King Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette, accused of being enemies of the revolution. The terror aimed to purge counter-revolutionaries but devolved into paranoia, with neighbors denouncing each other. Robespierre's fall in July 1794 ended the bloodshed, revealing the dangers of unchecked ideological fervor. This period remains a cautionary tale about the cost of radicalism. In 1799, General Napoleon Bonaparte seized power in the coup of 18 Brumaire, ending the revolution's chaos. A military genius, he promised stability while preserving revolutionary reforms like meritocracy and secularism. Napoleon centralized authority, replacing the directory with the consulate and later declaring himself emperor. His rise reflected France's exhaustion from turmoil and desire for strong leadership. Though he curtailed democracy, his rule spread revolutionary ideals across Europe through conquest, reshaping the continent's political landscape. Napoleon's Civil Code of 1804 institutionalized equality before the law, secular marriage, and property rights, replacing feudal legal chaos. It banned privileges based on birth, ensuring meritocratic advancement, though it restricted women's rights. The code spread to conquered territories, influencing legal systems from Latin America to the Middle East. Its emphasis on clarity and accessibility made it a model for modern civil law. While revolutionary, the code also reinforced patriarchal norms, showing the limits of Napoleonic reform. From 1792 to 1815, revolutionary France fought coalitions of European monarchies, fearing the spread of rebellion. Napoleon's victories, like Austerlitz, exported French reforms, abolishing feudalism and spreading nationalism. However, occupation bred resistance, as seen in Spain's guerrilla war. The wars drained France's resources and united Europe against it. Napoleon's 1812 invasion of Russia, a disastrous retreat, marked the beginning of his downfall. These conflicts revealed both the appeal and limits of revolutionary ideology abroad. After Napoleon's defeat, the Congress of Vienna, 1815, redrew Europe's map to restore pre-revolutionary monarchies. Led by Metternich, it aimed to suppress nationalism and liberalism through the Concert of Europe, a conservative alliance. France lost its conquests but avoided harsh punishment. The Congress stabilized Europe temporarily but ignored rising democratic aspirations, planting seeds for future revolts. Its legacy was a fragile peace that prioritized order over justice, fueling discontent among oppressed populations. In 1830, Parisians revolted against King Charles Hexin's absolutist decrees, barricading streets in 3 days of fighting, the July Revolution. The uprising forced Charles to flee, replacing him with the more liberal Louis Philippe. Though not as radical as 1789, it reasserted revolutionary values and inspired rebellions in Belgium, Poland, and elsewhere. The monarchy's compromise with bourgeoisie interests showed the revolution's unfinished legacy. Liberty for some, but not yet for workers or colonies. The 1830s to 1848 saw revolutionary ideals resurge across Europe. In Germany, Italy, and Austria, liberals and nationalists demanded constitutions and unification, inspired by France's example. The 1848 Spring of Nations uprisings briefly toppled monarchs but were crushed due to lack of unity. Though most failed, they exposed cracks in conservative regimes and kept democratic aspirations alive. Workers' movements also emerged, expanding the revolution's social demands beyond bourgeois interests to include labor rights. By the mid-19th century, the French Revolution's principles had irrevocably shaped modern governance. Its trinity of liberty, equality, and fraternity became rallying cries for suffrage movements, anti-colonial struggles, and labor rights. Though the revolution's excesses were criticized, its ideals underpinned constitutions from the U.S. Bill of Rights to the UN's Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Today, statues of Marianne and Bastille Day celebrations remind us that the fight for democratic rights, once ignited, cannot be extinguished.